This is just a disclaimer, but this video is catered towards newer players and not veterans. So if you're a veteran, you may disagree with what I have to say, but that's okay, because again, the video is not for you, it's for new players. So in this video, I'll be talking about specially changed units and which character you should prioritize. And the keyword is prioritize, because I'm not trying to make a tier list. I'm not going to tell you what's good and bad, I'm just telling you what you should focus on in the early game. For those who don't know, certain 3-star characters can evolve into something strong or stronger than certain 4 or 5 stars. When you reach a certain 3-star character to level 50, you can then click here and go to specialty change and find their banner and start their specialty change quest to evolve them into something stronger. The first character you'll want to evolve as a new player is Montmorancy, or also known as Momo. When you click here, you'll see 2 sides, specially changed quests and of course her updated abilities. For now, you'll be focusing on the right side, and these are the requirements you need to evolve her. Once you've successfully beaten all these requirements, you can then click complete special change and you will have your Momo transform into Angelica or Angelic Montmorancy. What makes her really good is that she's a versatile healer, meaning that she has low cooldowns and she will always have some form of ability to use. She's also incredibly versatile, not only with abilities, but the fact that she can be used anywhere. She can be used in Wyvern, Abyss, Raid, practically anywhere, and she'll always have your back. The only downside of Montmorancy is that her healing isn't as strong or potent as other healers in the game, such as a Kate or Destina. But all in all, she is one of the best, if not the best, free-to-play healer in the game, and she is incredibly versatile, and I highly recommend her to any new player because she will be your Wyvern tank, and she will be your constant anti-debuffer. The second character you want to focus on is Lorina, which can be attained through connections, just like Montmorancy. The reason why I prefer you to get her really early on in the game is because of this specific quest called Complete 50 Urgent Missions. For those who don't know or have already noticed, when you play adventure modes, you have a chance of getting these things called urgent missions, which are forms of battles that are typically harder, but you get additional rewards. For Lorina, specialty change, you need to complete 50 urgent missions total. Now, for those who've been playing this game for a week and you've done, like, I don't know, let's say 20 or even more urgent missions, unfortunate for you, if you have not leveled Lorina level 50 and have not accepted the specialty change quest, none of those urgent missions you have done counts toward the progression. So in other words, in order for you to count the urgent missions, you have to start her quest. So this is why I recommend players early on to get Lorina to level 50 and to start her quest as soon as possible after Momo. What makes her really good is that she will be your single target DPS nuker for Labyrinth and Abyss. She is specifically catered towards PvE elements of the game and cannot be used in PvP. But in PvE, she shines very well. She's a dark unit, which means she doesn't suffer from disadvantage elements, so she can attack basically anyone and not have to miss. And for those who don't know, if a grass unit attacks, let's say a fire unit, you have a 50% chance to miss and basically deal no damage at all. What makes Lorina shine compared to any other single target nuker is her passive. Her passive basically gives her free 75% attack increase, which is the same as a greater attack buff. So if you give her a greater attack buff and her passive, which scales 5 times, you can effectively get 150% increased attack on Lorina, which is incredibly powerful. But in most situations, you'll just have over 100% with just attack up. The third or fourth character you should focus on, and I say third or fourth because it doesn't really matter who, but you should get both, is Ras and Kluri. Now, Kluri, what makes her really powerful is that she's one of the strongest PvP units in the game because of her third ability. Her third ability makes one unit in the enemy team useless for 2 turns. It provokes for 2 turns and defense breaks for 2 turns, and also dispels all their buffs. So if it's a character like Moonlight Violet or someone who's really dependent on buffing themselves, you can just, remove that function altogether and make them completely useless. Now, this gives you 2 options. You can use you can completely ignore that person who's provoked for 2 turns because they're useless when they're provoked. When you're provoked, you are basically useless because you will only auto attack. You will only use your first ability. You will not use your third ability or second. Or you can just kill the unit who you provoked because it also decreases their defense. And what makes her incredibly scary is when you soul burn her. Now, when you soul burn her, it says ignores effect resist. For those who do not understand the mechanics of this game, there are 3 elements to play. There's effectiveness, which is how effective your debuffs are, and effect resist, which is your ability to resist the debuffs. Characters who have high effect resistance, like tanks or healers, you will need a lot of effectiveness to penetrate that effect resist. Now, the third mechanic in this game is that there's a 15% chance that your debuffs will not hit at all, regardless of your effectiveness. So you can have, let's say I have 0% effect resist and you have a million effectiveness, like let's say completely absurd, a million. You still have a 15% chance to miss, to miss provoke and miss defense break and miss dispel. And the reason why that's in the game is because if you have a character who has a 100% chance to stun and you have like 200% or more effectiveness, the game wouldn't be that fun if you just had a 100% chance to stun someone constantly over and over and over. So there is RNG elements into this game. Again, 15% chance to just completely not debuff or stun or whatever you're trying to do. However, the exception to that rule is that if you soul burn it. If you soul burn, any ability that has ignores effect resist, means that regardless of their effect resist or regardless of the 15% chance to not work, you will guarantee apply all these debuffs. So if you soul burn this, you have a 100% chance to dispel all buffs, 100% chance to provoke, and 100% chance of defense break, regardless of how resistant they are. That is why she's incredibly powerful. If you soul burn her, she makes a unit in the enemy team completely useless for 2 turns. The other character is Ras. Ras is incredibly useless until you evolve him. He is one of the strongest knights or tanks in this game right now. He has the ability to heal himself. He gives everyone defense up and dual attack, which basically means you when you dual attack, you will attack with another person in your team. And for Ras, it will be your highest attacker. So it'll be Ras attacking with your strongest DPS unit too, which is really nice. He also has a chance to defense break with his skill tree improvements. His first ability allows him to have a 75% chance to essentially dispel a buff, which is very good. Dispelling is a very nice thing to have, especially it's free because you can use it every turn. And all in all, he's a solid, very tanky, very annoying knight to fight against. He's definitely top tier in PvP. And again, Kluri and Ras are more PvP oriented, but they can be used in Labyrinth and Abyss. And for those who don't know, when I'm referring to Labyrinth, I am mainly talking about raids. Other notable mentions, which again is not at all a priority, but you can get if you have the time or resource, it would be Doris. Doris is an anti-dark unit, so let's say the enemy team is all dark units, they will naturally focus Doris if you're fighting an arena. And if a dark unit attacks Doris, she has a chance of buffing her entire team. She's essentially an anti-dark unit, so if you're fighting a lot of dark units, which you will in PvP, she's very good for that niche specifically. Another mention is Roozid. Now, what makes Roozid pretty strong in PvP, or I would say not strong, but nice, nice to have, is that he gives everyone speed imprints. For those who don't know what imprinting means, it essentially means that if you have, let's say, 2 Roozids in your inventory, hero inventory, you can combine both of them so one Roozid could have additional effects, such as, well, for Roozid specifically, he gives everyone speed, so he has speed imprints, so which is very nice. If you want your team to move first, you put him in your team, and he definitely does the job. He's also a very fast unit, and he gives everyone speed and 20% combat readiness. Another very, and I'm emphasizing the word "very" here, very niche character is Rose. She's the newest specialty change character in the game, and her niche is that she's really good against Golem, and that's really about it. She's good against grass units, and Golem is grass, so you don't use her anywhere but Golem. Her kit isn't designed for PvP, so Golem is best, really. She does have unbuffable, but again, it's better against Golem. Her kit revolves around that. And that's really about it. Any character I haven't mentioned right now are just not really worth investing into, especially if you're an early game player. Imagine, and again, the emphasis is early to mid game. So if you're an early game player, I really recommend you just getting Momo, Lorina, Kluri, and Ras. And Kluri and Ras more catered towards mid game. So mid game, you pick these 2 characters. Early game, you want to do Montmorancy and Lorina. So, and every other character, again, doesn't really matter. So you don't have to stress too much about it. And I've been reading some comments saying that I should start a Discord. And I did start a Discord. I actually had it set up weeks ago, but I didn't really thought I should have a Discord, really. It was kind of confusing. I also don't really know how to use Discord too well, but I created a server, so if anyone wants to join it, I'll post it down below in the description, and you can just ask me questions directly, and I'll answer you whenever I can. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.